Welcome to the Cherene Francis Show. Today we have Palmonia Gordon, who is a business consultant with Legal Shield and a newly published author of the book Order It, which is all about manifesting your dreams. What's exciting about this phenomenal woman is she is a single mother of 5 and managed to overcome all the obstacles and challenges to launch her business and experience massive success. Let's welcome her to the show. Oh, I'm so glad you're here because you're such an inspiration, Palmonia, especially for those people that really want more in their life and they need that push or oomph. You really, spell it out for them that it's all about ordering what you want and, taking action to make that happen. So I'm excited to dive into your story. So, what happened before you decided to take a leap into business?
Life. I delivered mail at the post office for 18 years, physically walked outside. My son, when I had my 5th child, my son had to get off at a neighbor's to stay with them while I was at work because I wasn't home enough in time to get them. And I got a call one day to let me know that mom was taking the child to the doctor, so no one is going to be home.
Right.
So now I had a tough decision. Had to call the school, tell them not to put my son on the bus. Then I had to drive my mail truck, pick him up from school, take him to my car, which if I had gotten caught by Canada Post, that was an automatic dismissal.
Yeah.
And then go back and finish my route. And of course, one day, picked up my bag to go to work.
Yeah.
The thought of going postal really made sense. 5 kids, going postal.
Yeah.
Those paths should never cross.
It wasn't going to work. Yeah. Especially because I can imagine, like even myself, I have 2 kids. There are going to be times when they get sick or when they have an accident, and you're going to need that flexibility.
Absolutely.
Right? So I understand that there was a moment in your life when you asked, why am I a single mother of 5? I was reading your book and you had that question, right? Can you tell us more about what was happening in that moment?
That is the moment of my awakening. I got up one morning, feet hurt, back hurt, just pain. And I'm like, how did I end up here? I love relationship. Why am I alone?
Yeah.
And I threw the question out, and the answer bounced back. I ordered it. Excuse me? What? And then I had a flashback. 19
of the time when you ordered this.
Of age.
Wow.
Something I said based on my childhood. If I have a child, I'm going to go off and raise the child by myself because I don't believe there's a man that's going to love me and my child the way we deserve. What? Fast forward 30 years, I am living that?
Wow.
Power of your words.
Yes. And I think that is, for some people, it's like, really? Or same thing. What? Like, is that true that, we could have these thoughts about ourselves or go through experiences where we declare things in our life, we order things in our life, and lo and behold, we end up living it out. Can you share with us some of the reasons why you feel that was perpetuated in your life?
Because I did not recognize that that's what I'm doing. If I get up and I wanted a cup of coffee and I drove to the nearest Tim Hortons or Starbucks, in my mind, I want a cup of coffee. And I go there and I specifically ask for that. But with our life, we kind of throw the words out, not recognizing that it's bringing, it goes out.
Yeah.
It finds what you've commanded it to find and it brings it back. But we are not conscious that that's what we're doing. That's how our words boomerang.
Yeah.
Go out, find me a red blanket, brings it back. So until I became aware of it, I couldn't stop the process.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was self-sabotaging, but I had no idea. Mm-hmm. So once had that awakening, it's like, you ordered it. I could literally see in my head a camera rolling times that I said things and they happen. It's like, whoa. So now it almost scares you.
Yeah.
Because you realize, you mean I have the ability to change or direct or choose?
Yeah. So that's interesting because in your book you talk about, your childhood and the traumatic events that you've experienced, everything from rape to being kidnapped from your mother, and coming to this point in your life when you made your declaration or that order where it was, I don't trust men. I don't, I probably would raise a child by myself. And lo and behold, fast forward, this is exactly what you end up manifesting in your life. And so here you are in your room, you get this aha moment where you realize you ordered everything in your life. What, for you, how did you shift from that point without going into this, because all that you've gone through, which is, very much talked about in the book, it could really drive someone mad, right? Statistically, where you are now or who you're being right now is really surprising and it's inspiring. How did you pick yourself up and change your whole life from that point?
I mean, you said statistically it drives many people mad. I did get prescription for this medication for depression once. I still have that bottle of pill as a reminder because I didn't want to start on that path. But having my daughter was one of the biggest turning point for me, because what I had in front of me was a replica of myself. And knowing what I had gone through, now I knew I had to do any and everything possible to make sure her life didn't reflect
Wasn't
mine
like
in
that.
any way. It's
Right.
totally different from
Yeah.
what I had done.
Yeah. Wow. So here you are in a job that's not working for you, figuring out, oh my goodness, what have I created and manifested in my life? And I love that your daughter ended up being, she's your last child.
Yes.
The last child was your wake-up call. So tell us what happened. Like I guess someone presented an opportunity to you at that point.
Someone invited me after, pulling up at work, not wanting to go in. And someone said, if I invite you, just casually, if I invite you to a presentation, will you come?
Yeah.
And I went and I saw it, and I was blown away because I felt it was God saying to me, here's a second chance. Because it was a product that I had seen 16 years prior. So I was seeing, hey, this is something, it has survived, so maybe I could give it a chance.
Yeah.
Once I got involved, then I started hearing about this thing, PD, personal development.
Right.
I had to grow me. Even though I wanted the business to grow, if I didn't grow, nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
Because I had to grow as a mom, as an individual. I now had to start learning how to love me, which is something I had never experienced.
Right.
So
that's so huge. And I talk about this so much, this whole aspect of self-love and that being the root of all success. Learning how to treat yourself and therefore then showing people how to treat you. And, for someone that has gone through so much abuse, it makes sense why you weren't loving yourself before. Can you share with us some of the personal development things that you did in order to cultivate this sense of self-love, and becoming more of the person that would be able to create success in business?
I read a lot. I read book. The biggest book that I read that changed my life was something called The Slight Edge.
Oh, I know that book.
I love that
Love
book.
it. Yeah.
And it talks about the simple little things that you do over time. It actually shows your line as a curve.
Yeah.
You do something, and if it's not good, it's literally taking you on a downward path.
Right.
And if it's good consistently, it moves you up. But what was beautiful for me in that book, it brought me to a place where I did something I had never done before. I had to pick 5 areas of my life that I wanted to improve over time.
Yeah.
But it didn't just say pick 5 areas, it said put a time frame to it. So that was my first attempt at goal setting. It's like,
yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
that was a new concept for me.
Right.
And started me on the path.
Wow. And so what area did you choose first? Was it business or?
Oh, I did the whole 5.
Oh, the whole 5.
I did relationship. That was,
Yeah.
honestly, that's when I consciously remember December 2014.
Yeah.
I said, okay, God, now I think I'm ready for relationship. Because at this point, I had been saying consistently, I will raise my kids, and when they're grown, I'll go off and travel the world. And that's when I said, okay, now I think I'm ready for a relationship. And once I became open, because in order to love me and to get into relationship, I have to be open. Because how is someone going to get in if I'm still this closed person,
right.
not ready to receive?
Wow, that's exciting. And so here you are opening up yourself to so much more. And I just want to go back because in your book, Order It, it's all about manifesting the things that you want. It's not that we're not manifesting. We're manifesting every day, but are we manifesting our dreams or what we want, our ideas? And so here you are now starting to implement personal development, working on yourself. How did ordering it play out for you once you started to make those actions towards transformation?
I think honestly, my biggest and my best order was when I decided I was done with work. I didn't want to go anymore. I honestly hadn't realized I consciously didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But I had a bad day at work. Remember the date, September 22nd, 2014.
Yeah.
And I went home, and this is the power we have with our thoughts, our words, and then our actions. And then I wrote in my journal, it was a horrible day at work. I want to stay home and be a full-time wife and mom. And the next day, even to today, this shoulder still hurts. I went to work and I could not move it. I couldn't lift. I couldn't function.
The next day.
Okay. Less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
I went to work and I couldn't use this shoulder. Still haven't been able to use this shoulder.
What happened to your shoulder?
There's a tear in this shoulder.
Okay.
It's a tear. The surgeon says it can't be repaired. There are times they've had to tape it, like even touching it now I can feel it. So they'll tape it back at times for ease.
Yeah.
But that gave me time off from work, short-term disability, long-term, and then eventually full-time stay-at-home mom. The price tag that we pay, in my perception, the ultimate price we pay for anything is ourselves. It's not the price tag of what you're going after. Are you worth it? Do you think you deserve it?
Wow. Yeah.
If you have value, which we all do, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my quote that I keep was Steve Harvey. I remember he pleaded. He's like he said, jump. He says you're gonna fall. But he says your parachute cannot open unless you jump.
Yeah.
Your bills are not gonna be paid. They're not being paid right now, are they? So what happened if while you're going after what you truly desire, you have bills that's not paid? Because we're living that now anyway.
Yeah.
Some of us are robbing Peter to give to Paul. Right? but you're not living you. So being true to you and saying, you know what, I am the ultimate price tag.
Yeah.
I deserve this. It's our birthright.
Right.
And the biggest thing that we need to get, whatever idea and thought come to us, it's for us to manifest.
Today we have Tara Ellis with us, who is an activist, a coach and speaker and empowerment specialist that works with people experiencing physical and mental disabilities. Tara sees a world where everyone is inspired and not stigmatized for being different. Let's welcome Tara to the show.
When my mom was expecting me, they did all the usual prenatal tests, and they told my mom and dad that I wasn't expected to live, and frankly, that I should be aborted. Putting this into context, my parents are very staunch Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
So telling a Roman Catholic woman who had already had trouble conceiving and carrying to term numerous children that she should abort didn't go down very well.
Yeah.
So she carried me to term, and then the prediction was I wasn't going to survive. I was never going to walk, talk, think.
You mean all the things that you're doing right now?
Pretty much. Yeah. I was not expected to survive, then I wasn't expected to thrive, then I wasn't expected to go anywhere, and I would be a quote-unquote vegetable.
Wow.
I say quote-unquote because that was the word used by the doctors.
Right.
And I would be, I should be institutionalized, because back in the day they had institutions where people like me were put.
Wow. So these were all, were you born yet, or you were just born and these were all the...
I had just been born. I was born here in Toronto and at St. Joe's. And then I was rushed to Sick Kids. And within 2 hours of my birth, I had my first surgery.
Wow.
Within 3 weeks, I had my second surgery. And I think I've had like 25 surgeries since then.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I've had the run of the medical system and, you know, been through the gamut. I think I've had surgeries from the top of my head to the soles of my feet.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. We were talking backstage and prior to all of this, and you being born into the world with all the challenges that you experienced. And one thing that you brought to my attention was it was almost as if the system was labeling you and setting you up to remain in a place where you couldn't do anything, although you had that motivation and desire to do more and knew that you could. What you know, how did you finally break yourself loose of this, you know, this stronghold over your life where you couldn't or you shouldn't or you can't?
Well, I credit that to my mom. And really, honestly, there's a bit of a backstory if I can. I never fit into the box very neatly. And I've subsequently learned to really embrace that. But in the early years, that was really, really hard for me because on a lot of levels, I was too disabled to be normal, and yet for disability services, I wasn't disabled enough to avail of them. So I was always left out.
In that middle.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I was of that age where there were a lot of services that I technically should have been able to avail of, but I was always deemed not disabled enough. And yet, when I went into the able-bodied society, I never quite fit in there either.
Right.
So I didn't really have a spot.
Right. And so here you are frustrated with this system that's telling you can't.
Right.
And when you look for the help so that you can, you don't qualify.
Right. Right.
Right. So that frustration kind of sat with you when you were in university and you made some decisions to make a difference. Can you tell us what happened when you came out of university and what you endeavored to do?
It started in university, actually.
Yeah.
I had some friends who came to my undergrad. I went to Glendon College of York University, and they came a year or two after me, and I naturally fell into the helping role of helping them settle in with all of the mobility issues that they faced and all of the challenges they faced. So then they had one incident in which there was going to be some issue with somebody couldn't access the classroom that they needed.
Right.
And they were going to make a huge issue with York University,
Yeah.
the university proper. And I was asked to do a study of the accessibility issues. And that turned into my life for 3 years straight.
Wow.
And I chaired a committee, and I did access awareness events and all of this sort of thing. And I actually did one event with David Onley.
Nice.
When he was at City TV, and he filmed it. So I started on City TV, where I did a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Around the campus.
Yeah.
With the president and the principal of York University in wheelchairs in the winter. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. So it was sort of from a place of frustration and a place of, I can fill a gap here because I know what these people are facing because I'm going through the same stuff and have gone through the same stuff. Let's collectively make a difference here and make sure that this doesn't happen to future generations. That's sort of what got me thinking in a bit of a different direction.
Wow. And so this pretty much was the beginning of your empowering, those people that are faced with these, differences in their body and in their mind. So can you just share with us some of the things that you're doing now in the community in terms of empowering these people?
Absolutely. Right now, I'm trying to, first of all, I have a brand new project that's a brand new program.
Yes.
That is called, Prosperability, the Universal Empowerment Program, the Universal Abundance Program.
I love that. So prosperability, and that's a play off abilities.
Yeah.
Cool.
Prosperability, the Universal Abundance Program.
Nice.
And basically it's 6 modules that I take people through. And it is mindset, then vision, then money, so abundance in terms of finance. Then we look at employment or occupation.
Yeah.
So it may or may not be paid employment.
Yeah.
It's more about what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Giving back to society. And then we look at leisure, and we look at relationships. And that's, so we've got the whole thing wrapped up, and it's moving toward your greatest vision of yourself and where you want to be.
Wow.
In relation to where you are right now. Going from a place of stuck, where I used to be, to a place of you've met your dreams.
Wow.
And you can fulfill all of your dreams.
This is exciting because we did a video, Facebook Live, and we were talking about how your disabilities are actually your superpowers and how those are actually given or you've received them in some way, form, or shape, and if you're able to shift your mind and see that these are things that can actually be stepping stones to your vision or whatever it is you want to create in your life, then, you know, anything is possible. What's interesting, Tara, is when you look at people that are faced with these challenges, sometimes there is a fear or there's a feeling of, you know, what if this doesn't work? Or what if I step out and I just make an embarrassment of myself? What would you say to those people that feel trapped or really do accept those labels that they can't? What would you say to those people?
Honestly, failure is a human condition. And you don't grow without failing first. You don't learn any lessons without trying, and you don't fail or succeed without trying. You stay stuck. And honestly, you have a choice. And staying where you are in your own way is a choice.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and you are entitled to make that choice.
Yeah.
For any number of reasons.
Yeah.
But just recognize you're not a victim. You can be empowered to make a different choice, take a different path, take the next logical step.
Yeah. And this is despite whether you are challenged or not, right? Like this as
absolutely.
you said, it's not just about people that are disabled. This applies to anybody.
This is universal.
Right.
And it's just a matter of people will take their own time.
Yeah.
People will take their own path.
Yeah.
And your time and the time it takes to get from point A to point B, or from stuck to something different, might take you longer. It might not be a straight path. It probably won't be.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That has to be okay.
Right.
Because as long as you enjoy the journey and embrace the fact that you were given another day,
Yes.